last week on the Al Nicoletti Show. Without further ado, let's welcome Brent back to the show. Brent Bowers, there's the man.
Let's go. All right.
What are you seeing right now in this market with the land space?
That's so good you asked, because I have a secret. My business has actually quadrupled in the past 18 months. My sales are more consistent than ever. It's almost like clockwork right now. And I'm not having to fight for land at massive discounts anymore. I can buy land pretty much at full retail now.
We're always thinking there's deals out there, right? There's always going to be a deal, but being able to find more deals and find more land opportunities is one of the biggest things we're seeing for people. Where's the lead gen right now with all of this?
I still love mail. I absolutely incredibly love mail. I like getting land deals back in my inbox. I want to get a purchase agreement signed in my inbox saying, yeah, we'll sell it to you.
What else are some other things that investors should tap into when it comes to strategies?
We talked about the dilapidated house being torn down and building a new one. We call that scrape and rebuild. We scrape the old mobile home. We could put a brand new manufactured home. We'll do that. Why manufactured homes is because right now, everything costs so much money. Everything is going up. But one thing I'm not seeing go up is American salaries. So we are making a bigger and wider gap between the poor and the rich. We're filling a demand where they get a brand new home with systems warranty for 2 years, with structure warranty for 10 years. They don't have to worry about this thing.
What's one myth about vacant land you wish would disappear?
Most people think that you can't make money with land. I was so wrong to even believe that.
Final words, final thoughts, Brent Bowers.
You know, get out there and play, guys. You want to sit on the sidelines and wait for the market to crash and pick up all the gold? Oh, that's crazy. Like, get out there and start now. Get on the field and start getting in your moves and run with it. Run with the ball. Go get the ball.
Go get it. Go get it. Brent, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Catch you later, Al.
And welcome into another episode, another Wednesday night in the studio. If you missed any of the episode last week, go back, rewind, check it out. So much content on all of these episodes. Lots of value, lots of information that people can dive in on and take action on today. If you want to find more of the content on the Al Nicoletti Show and any of the content that we do, scan the QR code at the top of the screen. That's where you're going to find everything on our link tree. Everything from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all over the platforms. And if you're looking for more videos on the hot curative title niche that is going everywhere on probates, partitions, quiet titles, and all that messy stuff, check out the YouTube channel and the videos that are there. You can dive in and there's endless content out there. And I am super excited for another episode in the studio. You know, we bring on a lot of people on these shows where we're getting into real estate or real estate adjacent. And one of the categories that we love bringing on are people that are getting into our business and how we can really fine tune our business. And Kati Peterman is an expert in business operations and learning how to make these things go more efficiently. And she's amazing. You'll love her. She just gets into all this kind of stuff, and we're going to dive in on that. So as I tell everybody, take notes, ask questions, get into all this stuff, because this is what it's about, is taking notes and making it happen, right? Taking action today. So I'm ready. So let's rock this thing. Hey, everybody. My name is Al Nicoletti. I'm an attorney here in Florida, and welcome to the Al Nicoletti Show, where I bring on real estate super investors, rising rock stars, movers and shakers, and leaders of clubs in their communities that educate, entertain, and inspire all things on Florida real estate, and going to bring the best in the game. Whatever industry it is, whatever state it is, we're going to bring the best value on how you can take your company to the next level. On my show today, I have Kati Peterman. She is an expert in business operations, and she loves getting into how to make businesses more efficient. And it's really about getting into this and diving deep into your business to find what the issues are and how to make it better. And she's going to get all into that. And I love Kati. She's on the ball. She really gets it. She's got that business mindset. And when she gets down to it, she can really, really hone in on all these business operations. So without further ado, let's welcome her to the show. Kati Peterman, welcome. Love seeing you here.
Al, thank you so much. I don't think anyone else could have made business operations sound as exciting as you just did. So thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. Well, we love when we get the guests on the show that can bring the value and have the expertise behind it. So Kati, just for the audience a little bit about what you do and what your business is. Like what exactly is it that you get into?
Yeah, great question, because business operations sounds, boring, vague. It means so many things. And there's so many, just like real estate, there's so many niches, right? There's so many specialties, there's so many avenues that you could go down. We focus on just the easiest way to remember it is 554. All industries, all businesses have 5 phases of growth, right? From startup to exit. And then all industries, all phases have 5 pillars. So marketing and sales, finance, operations, leadership, and personnel, which is like recruiting and hiring, right? And then what we do is we assess those 5 pillars, those 5 phases, and then our core four area, right? So 554, that core four area, we go over SIPOC, we analyze, right? And then we determine their KPIs. We go over their stoplight report, kind of like how they're measuring all those things. And then their meeting structures, which is really communication. And that's where a lot of people struggle in all businesses, right? So the 554 is kind of our magic. That's what we do. Your FRX is your fractional executives. So high level players, high level executives that come in on demand and can plug and play in different companies.
Really interesting. So like give us like an exact like case study or scenario of a company or a business that you've consulted with and you've seen what is inside of their business, and then you're saying, okay, we need to come in and kind of adjust that. Like what's a prime case study?
Yeah. So if we hit all departments, like I just talked about, marketing, sales, finance, personnel, I'd say one of the most common things is it'll be a conversation, and someone who's invested a lot in an A player, whether no matter what seat they're sitting in, and they're like, I don't know what they're doing all day. Like, I don't know what that guy does. I don't know if we made the right investment. I feel like cash is just pouring out. We go in, we audit, we put together data, we do clear assessments, and then we put that data and assessment back in front of that person that's having that concern, right? We all have payroll expenses, things going, marketing, especially in real estate, so much marketing going out the door. And that keeps you up at night. That's like one of those things where you're like, where is my money going? Am I even getting an ROI? You can't sleep, payroll's coming. And really just putting the data in there, and people are like, oh, okay, this does work, right? Or like, oh, okay, it's time to separate and part ways. So it's really just that like piece of data in front of someone. And really it's that like, I don't know if this is working. That's common with like everyone. They just, there's 2 or 3 things that they're like, I have no idea if this is truly working.
Interesting. So you brought it up in the beginning, which ends up being one of the big pillar problems is communication. When you're diving in and trying to sort through the business aspects of what's going on, how are you analyzing the communication issues? Because for sure, communication is one of the biggest things, even in my law firm. Like I always tell everybody, like we got to all be able to talk with each other and find out what's going on. Because if somebody's not communicating, then there's going to be a bubbling problem that's going to explode, right? So, what are some of the things you're doing to fix or help guide that business now into more efficiency with communication?
Yeah, we'll kind of like look and listen. I think it's always important to just like take a beat, right? Before we're responding or reacting to something, it's just look and listen and kind of get a feel for what's going on. Something that I'm really passionate about, and I think the best thing that you can do for yourself, for others, to set everyone up for success is that being clear is being kind, right? And if we want to be clear, we need to have data, and we need to have facts, and we need to make it as simple as possible for all learning styles, all communication styles, all personality styles, right? All inclusive, but being clear is being kind. The best way to do that is with data. And we see a lot of places that it's completely normal. We've all created it, but we have emotional responses on communication. And it's, I think, I feel, and that's absolutely valid. The thing is that we leave out the data. So most of the time, things that we're communicating are not grounded and they're not firm, and we don't have any supportive kind of evidence. And you know how important that is, right? Supportive
Yes.
evidence, facts, data coming in with it. And when you do that and when you're clear, it takes the emotion out of it, and it just really gets rid of a lot of unnecessary communication that people could have. And it stops what I call politicking.
Interesting. So when you're talking about data, we're talking about also measuring some of the KPIs or measuring some of the things that are going on in the business. So, and I think one of the things you love talking about is what KPIs, what are entrepreneurs obsessing over that actually don't matter with KPIs. But what are some of the metrics of KPIs that really should matter versus what shouldn't matter?
Yes, great question. So, on large scales, right, people are investing in these crazy CRMs and softwares and customs dashboards, and that's so great. If you want to track, 4,000 metrics, fantastic. But really, every single person, and even in your personal life, like things will improve with data. And really, just simplify it. If you're a solopreneur, if you have just a VA, in real estate, let's say you've got just a really dialed in VA. Well, that VA should have metrics too. And so should you as the owner. Your marketing third party people, they can also be assigned metrics. And I would say for everyone, just starting somewhere and cleaning it up and simplifying is the best route that you can go. Try and have 1 to 2 metrics that you're measuring, right, in each of those 5 pillars: marketing and sales, finance, personnel, leadership, and operations. And if you can pick 1 to 2 metrics, right, on each of those, then you'll start tracking and you're going to see patterns. And then those patterns will allow you to make quicker decisions. So, really, I think sales, obviously, conversions, right? You should be tracking your overall leads. You should be tracking your conversions. If you want to get crazy in real estate, talk time. Whether it's on the phone, whether it's door knocking, whether it's at conferences, whether it's with sellers, whether it's with buyers, I'd say for real estate, talk time. That's going to tell you a huge story. And most people are not looking at talk time. They only leave that up to like cold calling. Talk time tells you such a great story.
And what is it telling you? What is it telling you? Just too much time consumption is going in there, and they're not using the time efficiently? Because I can tell you, like, I get it. Whenever I do scheduled calls, and when I first started, I was doing like hour calls, hour and a half. And now, like, in order to make it more efficient, we've just done 30-minute calls. And if it absolutely has to be longer than that, it can be. But even sometimes it can be even shorter than that on the calendar to make things more efficiently. But I can see where you're going with that, because talk time can end up being a lot. Like Zooms and calls are a lot. So what metrics should the solo entrepreneur or business really track before they even start hiring their first employee or second employee? Is it all of this data that they're collecting?
They are collecting data, right? But you're collecting that data to see really where you're spending your time. So, a lot of people feel uncomfortable with hiring someone or taking someone to the next step, bringing someone on board, right? And they're like, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if we have enough return over here. Really, what it is, and what I encourage people is track the things, and just like talk time, that's taking your time. When we figure out your hourly rate, right? Taking that down, breaking how much time you're putting into everything, how much time you're doing this, filling out lead sheets, calling people back, answering emails, you name it. And we take your hourly rate and we really look at that. Anything below that should be outsourced and immediately delegated. And then once you start increasing your revenue and taking those things off of your plate, that's going to allow you to bump into other positions and other hires. But really, it's that return on time. Something, a lot of people get nervous with marketing and maybe bringing someone on board, and they're okay with the VA, but not with someone to go out there and necessarily run ads or something right away, right? Well, a person that you bring in that's running ads, that's getting you results, that has the background and experience to do that quicker and faster. If we were to go do that, right? If you and I are back there in Meta and trying to figure out our ad buying and doing all this, and we're watching the ads every day, and we end up being psychopaths, right? Just staring at the screen and trying to figure out what's happening. We'll probably put 4 to 5 times the amount of hourly time that someone efficiently and good and skilled at what they're doing would be. And that, if you look at that over the course of a week and then a month and how much that adds up to your revenue and your business, now you're like, I just cost myself 25 grand.
Yeah. It seems like it's just so important to make sure you understand like what the data is, what these metrics are, so you can efficiently use it to make your business more efficient and not be spending unnecessary money and time and maybe even hiring the wrong kind of people that you need in the business. Like you can really start realizing maybe we don't need this kind of role, we need more of this role. And so you can really figure that out. Katie, in our real estate investing world and realtor investor entrepreneur world, the word scaling is a big word, right? There's a lot of people that start off small, and then as they realize that their process and system works, they want to replicate it, right? But when they do it themselves initially, it's just them. So they know their process. And now you got to bring on new people. Now you got to bring on more people to help the delegation process. And I know you're big about like watching the scaling and making sure you're scaling the right way, right? So how do you make sure in your business you scale correctly? Is it more systems? Is it more people? Like, what's the better way to scale?
So scaling is trending everywhere, right? It's a hot word. It's a buzzword. And to be honest, I kind of hate it right now because so many people are not ready to scale. And imagine if you're just pouring gasoline on 2 or 3 things that's actually costing you the most amount of money, and you don't have the data, you don't have the processes, you're not even sure if you have the right people in place, but it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go scale, I'm going to do this, I'm going to just, we're going to do it, we're going to go big. Sometimes we'll have people that they had, something go viral, and so they're like, let's pour all of our ad budget into that because we're obsessed with going viral and we want to go viral again. Meanwhile, their automations aren't set up, their their delivery rate, right? Their scripts on their customer service, responding to people, like nobody's even on the same page. There's so many things that could go into it, like before we scale and before we pour gasoline on the fire. Again, going back to data of those things, like, yes, I love people, and you keep people safe and you're being clear and you're being kind to people by having systems and processes. You need to have a general script for most people to keep yourself, your company, your brand, your reputation safe, but then also to keep that sales individual safe, right? From running rogue, and then 3 months down the line, you're listening to calls and you're like, no wonder why we weren't converting. Like, why were you saying that? If they're like, oh, this person's just the best salesperson, you got to hire this guy. And it's like, okay, yeah, bring him on. I don't know. And then they're like, man, that person didn't work for me. And it's like, okay, well, what scripts did you give him? What did you have in place? What did your training look like? What expectations? How did he learn about your company? And it's like, well, he was just supposed to jump into it. I heard that guy just dives into it and he just gets sales. And it's like, well, there's a shared responsibility there. That's also super common. And so I love people, and it is about people, but it's about setting people up for success. And you do that with systems and processes.
Well, it's very interesting because like I'm listening to all this and I'm thinking for sure, I'm sure you're seeing this a lot more with doing a lot more analysis with businesses. How has AI been helping some of this when doing your evaluations for people building out systems and processes? Because sometimes it's not just getting nowadays, now it's not about just getting more people and throwing more hands in the pot, but like how do you get more efficient even using AI systems? Like, are you seeing that more now that you're able to kind of pick through their businesses?
Yes, I think there's always going to be a human element and you have to decide what human element you want to have. And then we have to let the business owners that we're working with, they've got to kind of tell us what they want the human element to be, right? And that's how you get that AI relationship really working. So it's always different per client, but definitely seeing it come in. And for me, the quicker that I can release that pressure valve, or our team can like take that weight off of someone's shoulders and really just let them relax and be like, I see it now. So I love it because I get to analyze so much data like 10 times faster. Like it's just, I mean, what used to take us sometimes 2-3 weeks auditing with teams and was so manual, and we all love data. My whole team is a bunch of data nerds, right? We geek out on it, we live for it. But what could take us 2-3 weeks can be done in like 6 hours now. And I get to give someone a relief and put it in front of them and say, hey, here's the story, here's what's going on, here's the moves that we need to make. And they get that excitement and joy and like, okay, I can do this. So the fact that pulling teeth for us is now shorter, absolutely love AI for that.
Yeah, and it's definitely cutting down the time of tasks that we used to delegate that would take weeks, and cutting it down into hours, right? And like you said, there's always going to be that human element, and not every AI system is going to be able to do everything that you do, but being able to selectively do it, you have to be seeing that. And it sounds like you are seeing that in these businesses. Another thing that I think happens in businesses is you have the leaders of the company, or the board, the CEO. There ends up being a lot of either trust issues with being able for people to work cohesively together. And there can be a lot of over micromanaging. How have you seen these leaders in the business be able to trust their systems versus have this massive oversight over everything going on at once?
Yeah. So I think that relationship, when someone says, okay, I'm going to finally hire someone. And, in the real estate space, again, I want to talk to everybody in your audience. Like, not everyone is ready to go hire a COO and two, three, $400,000 a year, right? Like, you might not even need that. Whether it's a VA, whether it's an amazing executive assistant, whether it's your number one VP of sales or your sales guy, whoever that is, right? You have to remember, like, yes, you built what you did today, and it's amazing because of you, and you are you, and you have a vision, and that has been created, and it's all happening because you are you. But you've decided to hire someone, and you've decided to bring someone on board because there's things that are not getting done. They're not as efficient and as they could be, right? However we want to look at it. And so you're not hiring you. And people go in that and they want to hire themselves and they want to duplicate themselves. And then they expect this person to think like they do and to get the results that they do immediately. You didn't hire this person to be another you. You hired this person to do all the things that you can't. Right? You're bringing
Yeah.
someone on board who should love the things that you don't love, that should want to go and do all maybe the admin tasks so you can be out chit-chatting it up with your relationships, right? You need to hire somebody almost the opposite of you. And
Yes.
people forget that because they're just like, well, I did such a good job, right? This is how I think, this is how I do it. So I'm just going to go hire another version of myself. You actually need to hire the opposite of that. And then again, if it makes you uncomfortable and you don't know, and we've all said it, right? Like, what do they even do all day? Right? Like, it's just you're paying someone and you're like, I don't know what they do. I don't get it. I hear that all the time. You could know what they're doing all day if you had systems and processes. And if you just looked at the data, it's either on track or it's off track. We're either in the red or we're in the green. So you could know and you could have a great relationship. And then you can say, hey, Al, we're in the red. You clearly know that you're in the red. You know why I'm calling you, because you're in the red, right? And so there's transparency. It's great. Again, we're having a data-driven conversation, not an emotional one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say data for that. But just remember, you're not hiring another you, and you shouldn't hire another you. You should hire the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah, and also it's because like you are unique in your own way. You should be able to find a way that you can do what your genius is, what you're capable of doing, and being able to fill that gap. And you're not trying to replicate yourself. You're trying to get your systems down. That's the key, is what you're saying, is like get your systems down. You're not trying to make another you. And that's a really big point right there. Also, automation is another big topic too, right? And we're seeing a lot more of this in the law firm, to build out more things that can be automated instead of like doing everything by hand replication. It's crazy to do that. What are
Mhm.
some things every owner should automate automatically? Like what are those tasks that are like, this is black and white, you should automate this?
So with majority of owners, there's this relational aspect, right? And we see it, we're guilty of it. We just had this, right? You come back from a conference, when you're there, you're chit-chatting it up with everybody. Follow through is not that we don't want to. It's not that we like didn't enjoy our time with that person, but the reality of it is like it's so hard to follow up with everyone. One thing that I love is that AI can get in there and automate, and you can be automating, whether it's with AI or whether it's with an executive assistant or whether it's with a VA, or whether it's inside of Gemini in your G Suite. Is you can have it go through everything and auto draft, like read things, but auto draft your responses. Just getting back to people in a timely manner for those relationships is key.
Yeah,
And I
it
think it doesn't matter who you are, we all could do better at that. So auto drafting responses, and then just at the end of the day, like go in there, read all the drafts and responses and approve, change, send, approve, change, send. Like get it out, be responsive, build those relationships, put time into people, but you can automate like 75% of the work with that.
It's interesting. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, one of the hardest things that actually happens at events is the follow-up, right? Because you
Mhm.
can meet so many people. And I remember going to a trade show or an event recently, within the last year, and I remember thinking like, we've gone to this 3 4 times, and every time we go, it's, meet everybody, there's a big bowl of cards, and like nothing even happens after. And I remember going this last time and thinking, we are going to be very intentional about who we are connecting with. And if we don't connect with everybody, that's okay. If we even connect with this amount, great. We're going to commit to following up with this amount. And from this amount alone, you can get the business from there. So, it doesn't have to be every single thing, right? Like, you want to make sure you follow up with the people that you jive with, connected with, and you had those conversations with. But like you said, building out that process of having these systems to have an email that will auto draft, or make sure that you actually go through your emails and follow up, because so many emails get lost, right, Katie? Like they get so lost in the sauce, and people are like, oh, I didn't see that email. It's like, well, if you had these systems in place, it could tell you. I mean, I know there's AI even out there that'll give you like summaries of your day, like prioritizing your ultimate priority, and things that are just like, I don't know, things that come in that you can unsubscribe from, right? So that's really interesting. So, Katie, if people are listening to this and going, wow, I feel like this person, like I feel like I can resonate with, I got a lot of stuff going on. There's different people in my on my team. I don't know what they're doing. The communication's off. We don't even measure anything. We know we make money. We know the money's coming in because the bookkeepers are showing the gross, but we're just like, where's it all going, right? How can somebody come from this and go, I don't need to feel overwhelmed with all this? Like, where do they start today to say, I'm ready to do it? Where do they take action?
Yeah, it's really just like I said, going back to the five pillars, right? Marketing, sales, finance, personnel, leadership, and operations. Just pick a few metrics and start tracking. You will, start to see a pattern. You will start to see a journey with that, and that's going to enable you to make quicker, better decisions. And the relief will come, from that. The more that you can get comfortable tracking and the more that you can get specific on those things, and if you do have people on your team, give them KPIs and metrics, ask them what they want to start tracking and feel comfortable with. It is an adjustment. It is a little bit of work, but it does tell a pattern and a story. And that's the best place to start, is just with data and those 5 pillars, and just pick 1 or 2 things.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And one last thing is, if every founder adopted one operational habit tomorrow, what would it create? Like what's that big impact?
Oh gosh. I would just say like the time to decision, like just think about it for a minute, where you get stuck and where you have that, like, I don't know if I made the right decision. I don't know if we should be investing more into this. Imagine if that kind of overall thought process, however long that takes for you, imagine if that was cut in half, what that would do. Like,
Yeah.
that's an impact. That's a huge impact. You can make quicker decisions when you start having the data that you need in front of you.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're actually really buying back your time. Like
Yes.
the time, money. And I mean, those are the 2 things that everybody's always trying to get more of, right? So if you can focus and what happens with a lot of people is it feels overwhelming to get into all this, because they're just like, how long is it going to take? How much time is it going to take? If you actually devote your time and invest that time up front in the beginning, you're going to save even more immense amount of time later. So the time to start is now, and this is what it's all about. So Kati, this is so awesome. Kati, for people that are interested, that are watching, how can they find you? How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, shoot me an email, and I'll respond with the link back, and we can just get, some time on the calendar. I love listening to people and I love solving problems. My team does too. And so really, we tell people that your problems are not unique, because with helping over 3,200 companies, like, we've seen it all. We have seen it all. So bring everything to the table. Just throw it out there, right? The problems are not unique, but your vision is. Your vision is unique, right? And that is what I want to hear about, is like, okay, these are all the things that are happening, but what do you actually want to do? Where do you want to go with it? What would that look like if all of these things were solved? And so just reach out. Let's hop on a call. Let's solve some stuff. Let's get things in a good place. Like I said, love data. I wish everyone loved data. I think everything would be a better place. And so I'm extremely passionate about people figuring out what data they need.
Yeah. And if you've seen this with 3,200 companies, that's 3,200 visions. So you've seen what everybody's talked about in terms of vision and what they want and what it's going to take to get there. So you've seen it all. So if you are interested, reach out to Kati. Kati, this has been awesome. So much fun. Always love learning about this stuff, like inside the business and how you can fine tune your business. As I do on my show, I do a final words, final thoughts segment. So any lasting impressions, lasting words, final thoughts, Kati Peterman.
Yes, I just want to say, Al, thank you so much. You have the absolute best energy. And like I said, I don't think anyone could have made business operations sound sexier, fun, more exciting than you did. I also just really appreciate what you do in your space, keeping people safe. So I just really appreciate that that's what you do, and you make people feel safe and they're able to operate in that safe space. So thank you so much for having me on.
I really appreciate that, Kati. Thank you so much. And we love having guests like you on the show that give back and can really help pour into the community. So this has been awesome. Always love seeing you, and hope everybody reaches out, and I'll be seeing you soon, Kati.
Okay. Thanks, Al.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. All right, everybody, you heard it from Kati Peterman. She has so much knowledge. She is a boss. She's all about business, and she knows what it takes to get into this and make your business more efficient. If you missed any of this episode, go back, rewind, check it out. I mean, so many different pillars to focus on, so many different things that people, I believe, are missing in their business that they should focus on, and have a Katie come in and check in on their business to see what's going on and how they can make it better so they can actually implement their vision. So if you missed any of that episode, go back, check it out. And of course, scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen. That's where you're going to get everything on our link tree, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. It's all out there. And we will see you next Wednesday night. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.